Over the years, since I've started doing this, helping the over 40 crowd get strong, fit, and lean with kettlebell training, I've heard this one particular sentence almost unanimously in almost every conversation. Gregory, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to injure myself, because if it happens, it takes a very long time to get back on my feet. So it happened to me that I had a massive shoulder irritation for the last couple of months, and it can also already be classified as chronic. And matter of fact, I still feel it right now, and I want to explain how it happened. It was a mistake on my end, and what I currently do to help facilitate the healing. I think I'm on the tail end of my injury. I can't wait to get back to the heavyweights again. But heavyweights, by the way, that's something that injured me probably, but I'm going to explain a little bit more in a second. And I'm also going to share what type of workout and what type of exercises I'm currently focusing on. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym, download my free ebook in the first link in the description. It's the second edition of the Kettlebell Code. After 11,000 downloads and years under the bells, I've come up with this brand new edition. You have to download it right now. It's 100% free. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe stark here. Let's jump right into the reasons why I think I have injured myself. A couple of months ago in April, I bought a weighted vest, and this weighted vest was 30 kilograms, which is 50, 60 pounds. And I thought to myself, you know what? This 30 kilogram body weight vest, this is awesome. I'm going to use it for walks, for rucking. I'm going to use it for body weight exercises. Come to find out, it was probably a little bit too much, and I felt it, but my ego was in the way. I decided to push through the pain anyway, and there was one particular situation where I was carrying 2 heavy bells plus the weighted vest, and I think this is where it happened. And I remember when I did some dips with that heavy thing, there was something going like this, and I felt it. Ooh, oh my God. And since then, I've had this massive shoulder irritation, and I feel it from the neck down to my shoulders. And this was so intense, and it was chronic, and I almost fell into a desperate state where I thought, I'm never gonna lift heavy bells again. Oh my God. So this was one of the reasons why this injury happened. The second thing why I believe it happened is because they say that this part right here, neck and shoulder, is a neural joint, or very neurosensitive. So anything that goes on right here in the brain, you'll first feel it down here in the neck as well as in the shoulder. And we are currently experiencing the biggest growth shift and exponential success in our business, which requires massive work on my end, a lot of effort, and I'm scaling it. And this is not easy to do. If somebody tells you, listen, if you're successful, you can just chill on the beach and relax. No, that's not it. If you're successful, you still have to fulfill the work. You have to sign up employees. You have to focus that the system has one philosophy. I've recreated Kettlebell Plus. I did 2.0. I did the new ebook. We now have this philosophy that is the overarching principles that are helping the over 40 crowd to get strong, fit, and lean, which is so awesome. And I've worked 9 hard years to do this, and now I finally found that I've arrived. And this, I believe, is another reason why I felt this thing flare up. And the final reason, I believe, is what Ed Cohn said in the video. He said most people go too heavy for too long, and I think I was doing too much heavy bell work overhead. There were workouts where I was only doing jerks. Boom, boom, boom. Because it's my favorite exercise. And because I believe in Levi Marquardt's 2 bells overhead philosophy. But sometimes 2 bells overhead can lead to 2 shoulders are dead, right? So you have to be careful. Which, of course, I'm not knocking Levi. What I have to understand is I am running my own race. I started comparing myself to Levi. I did his workouts, which I still do because I love them. I think they're awesome. But I found out, you know what? I think Levi's a cyborg and I'm just a regular human being, so I have to be careful. I'm also a lightweight guy, so this means with the heavy bells just feel different for my body. So number 1 that I do is I go into massages on a regular basis. Number 2 is I visit the sauna. Number 3, I've completely switched up my workout routine, and there's one particular routine that I want to show you right now. And number 4 is it confirms my idea that if you work out on a regular basis for a very long time, it makes sense to use a macro cycle. And that macro cycle doesn't have to be written down to a T like a professional or elite athlete would. It just means that you want to differentiate different training phases. So for me, this means I started this last year, and to this year, I'm confirmed, or it confirms to me even more that I have to follow this principle, especially if you're getting a little bit older. And that is, in the winter, I go heavy. In spring, I am moderate. In summer, I go lighter. In autumn, I go moderate. And winter comes back, I go heavy. So I do these waves of loading. And in summer, I train outdoors all the time. So in that front, what I do is I deload my strength capacity, which doesn't mean that I become weak. It just means that I'm using lighter bells. I've been working with 16s now for a long time. Many of you have seen this. Some people have commented, hey, Gregory, what's up? Why are you using only 16s? I'm using 16s and max 20s. And then I do more endurance work, which means running outdoors. I do more rowing. I do more walking. And especially the rowing part, where I combine ballistic exercises or certain exercises with a lighter weight outdoors on the track and field, and then I do lots of runs. And this is where I want to focus on building and increasing my pure raw endurance capacity while still making sure I spend time under the bells. And what I now want to show you is one of my double bell workouts where I have quickly found out that I have to be careful with overhead pressing. I have to be careful with the snatch, because it just irritates the shoulder a day after. Maybe in your case it doesn't, which is fine. So everybody has to find out what works for them. In my case, I know I have to be a little bit careful with sitting too much and putting the bells overhead too much until this thing is completely finalized and gone. So one of the first exercises that I do with double bells, of course, it's lighter weights, is the deadlift. So I do 10 reps of these. I make sure that the bell stays close to my body and that they are aligned at the middle of the feet. And when I stand up, I really push my hips inside the bells. And so often you hear, well, this is way too light. This is not good. Listen, kettlebell training is weighted locomotion. It's not just all about lifting it heavy and going heavy all the time. Sometimes it's just loading the hinge properly and making your body work. Weighted locomotion means it is this primal feeling, this practical feeling of movement, and not just training per se, where you always want to go heavy and use particular or different weights. So then I clean the bells up, I sit down on the bench, and then I do presses. So almost like a bench press, but here's what I do as I keep the kettlebell close to my body. I want to descend as far down as I can so that I feel the stretch, and then I press the bells back up, because I have felt that pressing overhead is just a little bit of an issue with the shoulder, but pressing them from a horizontal position, almost like a bench press, this works totally fine. So that's exercise number 2. And as you can see, I keep the bells close to my body. I follow the particular regular routine of a kettlebell press and jerk, as that's what I usually do to stay in line with my philosophy and my modality of training. Then I take the shirt off. So many times people criticize me and say, Gregory, why are you doing this? And let me show you this. This is the way to live from Georg Hackenschmidt, also known as the Russian Lion. And he says, wear minimal clothing. As you can see, he wears minimal clothing right here to support perspiration and to just walk around and keep the blood flowing. If you have the possibility to do so, do it. It's like I said, it's primal, it's natural, and it's that free flow of movement and weighted locomotion. Now here come double front squats. Double front squats are tough. And for those of you who are asking, yes, I wear the ankle. This is not a ankle monitor, okay? So I'm not, police is not looking for me. This is my Apple Watch to track my training, and it works well. And what I want to show you from the side is, as you can see with the front squat, the idea is we follow this Olympic squat pattern where I want to keep the back as upright as possible, straight up and down. And even with double 16s, this is tough stuff. Never underestimate the lighter weights. I do 10 reps per exercise. Then we move forward. I walk around, I keep breathing, I check my heart rate, because after double front squats, I always feel that my heart rate is elevated. And then I continue on, take a zip, and here we go. I am back on the bells, and this is the double clean. The double clean is a ballistic exercise. It doesn't aggravate the shoulders. The jerk, for example, does, which I'm so sad that I can't do this. I haven't been jerking for a very long time now, for the last couple of months. And so double cleans work very well. Plus I keep the arms straight to avoid any rotation, which works fine. I just found out that I have to be careful with the rotation. And so double cleans are just awesome. Great for the full body, and it trains every muscle fiber in your body. And even with lighter weights, what I want to focus on is making sure that I have perfect technique as I push through the workout and push through the exercises. And then we have the next one, These are just regular push-ups, and I do these increased range of motion push-ups where I really want to get massive range of motion, and my shoulder loves it. They like it. Maybe in your case, if you have an irritated shoulder, this is not good for you. I love it. I go as deep as possible, push up, and make sure I keep the whole body tight. I love this exercise, and by the way, push-ups is an exercise that I always include. It's so powerful, so awesome. And then we have the final exercise, and that is, it actually turned into one of my favorites, and that is the reverse lunge with 2 bells. So I grab them in a suitcase position, take a big step back. And by the way, just for you to understand, many people make that mistake, is a lunge is you take a large step back. You have the standing leg in front of you that does all the work, and the leg that goes behind you that takes the rear step stays as extended as possible. So you feel that stretch. Here you see it better. You feel that stretch in the hips, and the whole body is stabilized on one leg. Do not put the knee down behind you. That would be a split squat or a lunge split squat, so to speak. So if you do a proper lunge or reverse lunge, keep that leg extended. And again, it's 10 reps per exercise. So I do 4 rounds total, rest in between the exercises as well as in between the sets. And then my finisher is I do all the exercises from doubles with 1 hand per side. So it's 10 deadlift left, 10 deadlift with the right side. And then I'm switching to 1 arm press or 1 arm bench press with the left side, 1 arm bench press with the right side. And then I go into a squat, and the squat is tough when the bell's in the air. And the reason why I'm stabilizing my arm is because I feel my shoulder is flaring up a little bit. And when you are injured or you have this irritation going on, be very cautious and listen to your body. And as soon as you feel it, you have to maybe abort the exercise or support it in a way that you don't feel this thing flaring up. And then of course we have the push-ups as well, and then we have the lunge as well, and this is a finisher. And at the end, one of my favorite exercises is then just a suitcase walk, or I grab the bell and then I walk around for maybe a couple of minutes. And this is my current workout, which helps me facilitate the healing from my shoulder injury. Finally, I want to mention how important it is that at the end of the day, you maybe want to talk to a physio, a therapist, or a doctor and see what's going on. In my case, I know my body. I know what led to the injury. I know what led to the irritation. I know how to handle it. I know how to facilitate the healing, and it feels way better than a couple of weeks and months ago. But it's really crucial that you have to make sure always leave the ego at the door. I didn't do it with this body weight vest, and I hurt myself. I've learned from it. And see, we all make mistakes, and the best thing about it is we can learn from it, which I do most definitely. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's interested in kettlebells. And if you made it this far, download my free ebook in the first link in the description called the Kettlebell Code, the 2nd edition. I've spent 2 weeks rewriting the Kettlebell Code, and I believe it is the perfect start if you are getting your feet wet with kettlebells. I explain everything. It's very thorough. It's over 8,000 words. It's a little bit more of an introduction and gets you this perfect idea of the philosophy, the skill blocks, the exercises, how to train, and everything is in there. Mobility, you're going to love it. And the best thing about it, it's 100% free, and it even comes with a video book and an audio book, 100% free. So what are you waiting for? Download it right now in the first link in the description.